What's up guys, Brad here from Piney Grove, and today we're going to finish up something that we started yesterday. So we dug this trench yesterday with the excavator, and we thought we could get the water line in from the well to the house in one day. They say if you want to hear God laugh, tell him your plans, and we did not get it done in one day. But what we did get done is we removed the hydrant here. We had an outdoor hydrant here and capped that line off, and that line will stay like that in case we need water to the back of the property at any time in the future. And then we went in the well house and we created a manifold coming off of the filter right here, and we put that support up under there so that pipe doesn't sag. Gave us an extra option later to take water out through that 4-inch elbow in the concrete. And that is the new house valve right there, and it's on. So last night I pressurized my line, make sure I had water flowing through my pipes to the hydrant up by the house where the driveway will be. And then I came out early this morning and pressurized the house with about 60 psi of water because the house is completely plumbed and there's no leaks. Didn't expect any leaks because the house was pressurized with 100 psi of air. But now it has water in those plumbing lines, whereas before it had air yesterday. Had to come off here to 45 to match the trench. And I've got a little bit of screenings down here holding the pipe in place while I did the leak check. And I think what I'm gonna do is use some more screenings here from cleaning up the concrete around the house and put all those screenings, or most of them, in this trench, because they have a lot of concrete bits in them, and I don't really want to screen them again to get those concrete bits out. And if I put them in this trench, that'll get rid of them, and also it'll be a good backfill for this trench. And then anything like the spoils here on the side where I dug the trench, that's clean. That doesn't have concrete in it. So anything that's left over from that, I can put on our fill dirt pile and use it to fill in the foundation around the house. Over here, I teed off to a hydrant. That hydrant's working correctly. We just got to put some river rock around the bottom. And then I also teed off for a future pipe so we can have a hydrant on front of the house. And over here is the main valve for the house. And I'll put a little bit of river rock under that so it drains well. And that'll be a great place for black widows and frogs to hide out. We're at just under 40 psi, and that's combined water and air pressure. Until we get the lines bled from all that air, and we can't do that until we put the fixtures on the distant end, like in the bathrooms and kitchen and stuff, it's gonna have a mixture of air and water in the line. But our builder wanted this line pressurized with water because we're about to do siding on the house, and he wants to be able to detect if they put a nail through this waterproof barrier, house wrap, I guess, and then the sheathing, and then hit any of the water lines that are in the wall. He wants to know that right away before we do anything on the interior so that we can fix those lines if they hit them. Got the trench pretty much backfilled up to this point. I need to get these river rock in here before I go any further so I can start backfilling this. And if you're not familiar with a yard hydrant or a frost-free hydrant, what they do is the valve is at the bottom. So the valve is buried under the frost line. And so when you turn off the water, all of this in here drains to a little weep hole in here. And you don't want that weep hole to get covered with dirt. So what I do is I put a piece of pipe bigger than this 1-inch pipe. In this case, it's a 4-inch piece of sewage and drain that I cut so I could collapse it a little bit. And then I'll just fill this cavity here with river rock that we screened, so it's really clean. There's no fines in it. And it'll fill in around the base there, and then when I put dirt on it, that dirt will not fill in all the way around this river rock. And then that weep hole will always have a place to drain. Now the instructions say that you can just put gravel around it, but I like putting this little piece of sewage and drain around it, so that keeps dirt from going around that weep hole, because dirt will find its way around gravel. And then I put a piece of plastic over it, and that just keeps dirt from the top from going down in there. It's not a perfect seal right there, but it'll keep a lot of the dirt from going down in that hole. And I'll pour a little bit more river rock around the base there. Now we'll just backfill it with dirt and it's all set. I'm also gonna bed underneath this valve with some river rock, just in case you need to get in here and turn this valve off and there's been a lot of rain recently. You won't have to put your hand in water. Got this graded off pretty good here close to the house, but I didn't want to hit this hydrant, so I was being real careful on that. And I didn't want to hit the house, so I didn't want to come up here and try and grab all these clods, so I'll just throw them out here by hand. But I got this graded in, filled in, and packed, and then I went down the whole trench all the way to the well house and put one track of the excavator in there to pack it. And I think I'm going to get some water and go ahead and water that in and just get that really packed so that when I do my final grade here in a few minutes, that, you know, 6 months from now, a year from now, that doesn't kind of settle in and you get a little divot and then I'm coming back with more fill dirt. I hit my builder up last night with a text and said, hey man, I got the water line in. I'm gonna pressurize the house tomorrow. It took me 8 hours. So what you saw when we started today took me 8 hours yesterday. And I'm probably a couple hours into today already. And I know I'm not super efficient. I'm not trying to say that I'm a professional plumber or professional excavator operator. But what I will say is nobody else would have done this. The plumbers would have come in here with a trencher. They would have put the line in the trench. They would have covered it up. They wouldn't have really packed it. It would have been a problem going forward. There always would have been a divot. They wouldn't have put this hydrant in or put the extra line in for me. I guess they would have if I specified it. So I thought I saved around $1,000 yesterday or on this whole job, but I bet it's closer to $1,500. I'm doing a lot of detail here that a lot of people won't do. I really think that I'm saving quite a bit of money here, not the original $800 to $1,000 that I thought I might be saving. Another big thing with contractors is a lot of them are not gonna do any shovel work. I mean, they might do a little bit up against the foundation, but they're just gonna come in here with whatever machine that they have, and they're gonna do the best they can from the seat of the machine, and they're just not gonna do what I'm doing right here. And also we found that the contractor that's currently here, let's say it's a plumber, he doesn't care about the electrician. Then when the electrician is here, he doesn't care about the plumber. And it goes on and on down the line, meaning nobody makes anybody else's job easier for them. So when I went around here and cleaned up around the foundation, I actually graded it. Because if I didn't grade it, there would have been big humps of dirt all the way around the house, and it's really hard to set a ladder on that dirt, you know, do any cutting or sawhorses or anything like that. So I was thinking, I'm making it easier on anybody that has to work on this house. All right, this is good enough. I can get in here with the tractor and really set a good grade with the tractor blade, much better than I can with the excavator. Let me go get a hose and wet this down, and then the rest of this trench should fill mostly with equipment and not with me with hand tools. It's just so satisfying, amazing, whatever, to see the progress we've made on this property. And as I look back there to that hydrant, I think about, you know, soon, next few months, I'm gonna be parking my car or my truck in that garage, and I'll be using this hose and this water source that I put in myself to wash my vehicles and water the plants around the house. We are so close. We are so close to what we started 7 years ago being reality. And when you have something that takes that long to attain, makes it sweeter maybe, makes the victory sweeter when you've had to wait so long for it and you've put so much of your blood and sweat equity into it. I think that's got it. I don't want to make it too soupy. It's sending shock waves through the house plumbing because the house plumbing has so much air in the lines. So when I shut that valve off, I heard it, I don't know, gurgle, make noises through that PVC or that PEX that's in the house. If you ever want to find the lowest part in the ditch, put some water in it, because what didn't sink in up there came right down here to this bottom. but it'll do what I intended it to do, and that's pack it. I'm gonna grab the Summit and kind of final grade this area just so I know my starting point. Make sure this is done before I start pushing all that dirt that way. Got that area graded with the tractor, and this next part should go fast. I say that a lot to Deb. This part will go fast, and then 8 hours later, I'm still out here working. So the way I'm gonna do this is I'm gonna sweep it with the house, and the house is what I'm sitting in. Sweep it in front of the blade and then push it into the hole. And also use the bucket to break up the bigger clods so it packs better. But we use the excavator a lot out here on Piney Grove, and we make a lot of videos with it. And I've actually had some people say that that's the wrong way to use an excavator. And I understand that when you sweep it, that works on the spin motor, and that's not the greatest for it. And I think even in the manual, it might say, you know, don't sweep. But I swear every TV show, every YouTube channel that has a major excavator operator, they all sweep. It's kind of the way to get material in front of you and move material around. So I'm just going to keep sweeping and not try to overtax the machine doing it. Leave a comment if you know anything about excavators, if you're an operator yourself, and what do you think about this method of sweeping and using the side of your bucket to move material. Another thing that I'm doing right now that I think is in the manual, or I've read it somewhere, is don't pack with your excavator like I'm doing there. And there's kind of two big functions that you do with an excavator is sweep and pack. So it just makes the machine so much more effective, especially when you're filling in a trench. Trying not to push too much material at once, and then I just push the bucket away from me to spread it and pack it. And I'm gonna have a lot of extra material, so I'm just gonna push it as I go, I think. I don't know. I don't have the strategy totally dialed in on what I'm gonna do with the extra material. Sometimes it's just quicker to use the tractor. But it's more fun to use the excavator, so I don't know. Doing a bit of grading with the excavator, but I think I've done as much as I can do, or the best of my ability. But all the dirt from here down there that was extra to the trench, I kind of feathered it out because there was a dip right here. But there's a berm here that we built years ago to keep water from washing down the hill and get grass established. And it's so dry, it's made of clay, but it's so dry that the excavator won't scrape it off. I wanted to knock this off a little bit more, but the excavator is going right across the top of it, just like it's concrete. So we'll have to work on that when we get a little bit more moisture. But I've got this as good as I can get with the excavator. I'm much better with the tractor, and I'm much better with the Kubota L3901 than I am with the Summit. So I'm gonna grab that. It's got a wider bucket, and I can just do a better job grading because it doesn't have a self-leveling loader. But that is rough graded. I've just got a little bit more trench here to fill in. Getting really, really close to the prize here. So of about the 110 feet of trench that we have, probably got about 40 feet left here. And what we have here won't be too much extra, and then we'll grade it out. When I say too much extra, I put those screenings in the bottom to fill this up quite a bit. But we'll take the excavator and fill in the trench, pack it down pretty good. Then we'll grab the tractor, do our final grade, and then spray it down with water, and it'll be done at least until spring when we have to plant grass. Finally, I think we're done except for watering it in. I really like grading with that Kubota. I don't know what it is about that tractor, but it just fits me. And I say that a lot when I talk about buying a tractor and what tractor you should choose for yourself, and I don't push any brand. We're sponsored by Summit. We own a lot of Kubota equipment. And I don't push brands on people. What I try to tell people is find the tractor that fits you. And that L3901 Kubota is a 2017 model, got 500 hours on it. That tractor just fits me, and I know everything that it's gonna do and where its corners are. And in just a couple minutes, I was able to grade this out. So the excavator had it really, really bumpy, but I went two ways. I went that way, which is a down slope, and then I went cross slope here. and I got it graded as good as you can grade with a tractor. I wasn't trying to take the slope out of it. I was just trying to fill in all the holes and kind of match the natural grade that it was already. But I'm gonna get on the hose here and wet this down. It's past lunchtime and we gotta get on the road here soon. But we appreciate you guys watching. We appreciate your support. And as always, remember, life's short, tractor hard.